Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are cracking open the blueprint for a totally new kind of venture capital fund. We're talking about a fund where artificial intelligence isn't just a buzzword, it's the secret weapon. We're going to look at how VIETDAK Capital is building this incredible engine to basically turn the art of investing into a straight-up science.
All right, let's get right into it. For forever, venture capital has been this high-stakes game, right? A lot of it was guided by, well, intuition, a gut feeling. But what happens when you swap that gut feeling for, say, a data-driven GPS? I mean, look at this. On one side, you've got the old way, a total mess of scattered spreadsheets leading to slow, reactive decisions. But on the other side, that's the new model. It's like a centralized mission control that can actually see what's coming instead of just reacting to what's already gone down.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll tackle the investor's dilemma. Then we'll jump into the data-driven revolution that came out of it. After that, we're going to peek under the hood of the analytics engine, see how it turns data into actual decisions, and then wrap up by looking at what all of this really means for the future of investing. All right, let's kick things off with the core problem here, the investor's dilemma. Because, to really get why the new solution is so powerful, you first have to understand just how limited the old way of doing things really was. Just try to picture it. You've got critical info buried in like a dozen different spreadsheets, endless files, systems that don't talk to each other. It's a mess. You might get a report from a startup every now and then, but it's never, ever in real time. So how are you supposed to get a clear, up-to-the-minute picture of how that investment is actually doing? The simple answer is you can't. You're basically flying blind, forced to rely on your best guess. And here's the kicker. The market itself is forcing everyone's hand. Competition is just fierce. The best deals, they're gone in a flash. On top of that, investors, the LPs, are demanding way more transparency. Every single dollar has to pull its weight like never before. So that old, slow, clunky way of doing things, it's just not going to cut it anymore. So all that pressure, it really forced a huge shift in thinking. It was no longer about just working harder. It was about working smarter. And that led to this brand new model for VC, one that was built from the very beginning on a solid foundation of data.
And that's exactly what VIETDAK Capital is building with their investment analytics app. They're literally creating a fund where data isn't just some report you look at later, it's the core asset. And the AI, it's not just a buzzword they throw around. It's a real strategic tool that's woven into every single part of the process, from start to finish.
The goals here are pretty big, but they make a ton of sense. See, it all starts with creating one single source of truth for everything. Once you have that unified data, you can make faster, smarter decisions. And those decisions, they build a massive competitive advantage. The best part, the endgame could be even bigger. This internal tool could one day become a super powerful fintech product that they sell to others. Okay, so how does this whole mission control for investing actually work? Like, how does it take this messy world of data and turn it into something crystal clear? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the key metrics this engine is tracking. All right, first things first. The app gives you this incredibly clear view of performance, and it starts with IRR, which stands for internal rate of return. Now, this is super important because it doesn't just tell you if you made a profit, it tells you how efficiently you made that money over time. It's the real answer to the question, what was our true year-over-year growth rate? Then there's MOIC, multiple uninvested capital. And I love this one because it's so simple and powerful. It answers the most fundamental question an investor could ever ask. For every $1 I put in, how many dollars did I get back? That's it. So simple. Okay, now let's talk risk. The app tracks something called the burn rate in real time. That's basically the speed at which a startup is burning through its cash. Keeping an eye on this is like having a smoke detector for a company's financial health. It shows you exactly how much runway they have left before they run out of fuel. But it's not just about numbers, it's about seeing the big picture. The app gives you this amazing visualization of the entire portfolio. I mean, with just one look, an investor can see exactly where their money is. Are we way too heavy in fintech? Do we need more exposure to deep tech? This dashboard gives you those answers instantly. It's the perfect way to make sure you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. And check this out. You can put companies right next to each other and compare them on key things, like year-over-year revenue growth. Right away, it just jumps off the screen who your superstars are. I mean, look at Startup A with 250% growth. And you can also see who might need a little extra help. That kind of clarity is absolutely crucial when you're trying to figure out where to place your next bet.
But look, collecting and visualizing data, that's only half the battle, right? The real magic, the game changer, is when you layer AI on top of all that. That's when you can turn all that historical data into actual predictive insights that tell you what to do next.
Okay, for example, take the founders scoring AI. We all know a startup's founding team is everything. They can make it or break it. So this tool takes that evaluation and turns it into a science. It pulls in all of his data on a founder's track record. Things like, have they had a successful exit before? What's their network look like? Then the AI goes to work, hunting for patterns that successful founders have in common. And boom, it generates a predictive score. It's a totally data-driven way of sizing up what is arguably a startup's most important asset, its people. And that's just scratching the surface. The AI is really designed to be like a co-pilot for the entire investment journey. It's not only predicting how likely a startup is to succeed or fail, but it's also spotting those early risk signals we talked about. It can even forecast what a startup might be worth down the road. And get this, it even automates the boring stuff, like summarizing reports or even writing the first draft of an investment memo.
This quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly sums up the entire philosophy here. This isn't about getting a new piece of software. It's a fundamental culture shift for the whole fund. It's about moving from the world of, I think this might work, to the world of, the data shows this will work.
So what's the big takeaway? Where does all of this lead? What's the real impact of this kind of technology? And what does the future of investing even look like when it's powered by an engine like this one? At the end of the day, it's about one thing: getting better results. It's that simple. When you can make smarter bets, manage your risk way more effectively, and spot the winners earlier, well, the goal is to deliver much better returns. We're talking about consistently hitting that 3x or even higher multiple on your capital. All this cool tech, it's all about improving the bottom line. And all of that comes together to create a serious long-term competitive advantage. Just think about it for a second. Your decisions get better. Your portfolio management goes from being reactive to proactive. You can actually step in and help a startup before they run into trouble. Your money gets put to work way more efficiently. And maybe just as important, you build a whole new level of trust and transparency with your own investors. So this all leaves us with a really fascinating question, not just for this fund, but for the future of finance. As these AI tools get more and more powerful, they're going to handle all the number crunching. So what's left for human judgment? Does our intuition become even more valuable because it can see the things the data can't? Or does it just become a liability, a bug in the system? That's a question the entire industry is going to be wrestling with for years to come.